So as I'm now entering to this new phase of my business, integrative business coach, integrative. What am I helping people integrate? Okay, we are 100% spirit and 100% human. We're not 50-50. We're 100% spirit, it stands alone, and we are 100% human, it stands alone. How do I know this to be true? Because when your spirit leaves your body dies. That means all by itself, there's still your body without your spirit, but your spirit can leave, which means you're 100% and 100%. Yes? Mm-hmm. And the rules for spirit are different than the rules for human. We get that. Here's where it gets funner. They're actually opposite. They're not just different, they're opposite. And now, here we are, spiritual beings having a human experience, and which means we have one set of rules that absolutely contradict the other set of rules. Yes? And guess where bliss is? Guess where the juice is? Guess where that high, that thing, that fulfillment, that life that we're looking for, guess where it is?
In the middle.
Smack dab in the middle of the paradox. It's living simultaneously in the yes of both at the same time. Yeah? See why it seems so elusive? And here's what's really cool though. When you know the rules, it's easier to play the game, right? Imagine walking onto a soccer field and not knowing any of the rules, and you walk out and oh, by the way, and Joe made sure there was plenty of this. Just so you guys know. So if you need some of this, here it is.
One for everyone.
One for everyone. But if you walk onto a soccer field and you're like, oh yay, I like this ball, what's going to happen? You're going to get a penalty. Yeah, you're going to get a penalty. Guess what? If we don't know the rules of life, we're constantly a penalty here, a penalty here, a penalty here. And pretty soon we're like, oh, here's the other thing. Guys, sometimes bad words come out of my mouth. Sorry about it. I know. Sometimes. But if we don't know the rules and we're getting penalized, right? And then finally we just go, I don't fucking want to play the game anymore. Right? I don't want to play the game. It's too hard. Because I keep trying to do the thing, and I can't do the thing because I don't know the rules. You guys get to learn the rules. It's going to be so good. Right? And here's what's so magnificent about how we work. Because now you get to apply the how we work to the human Mindy. And you get to apply the how we work to the human Melissa. And you get to apply how we work as a human to the Kristen. Yes? Mm-hmm. So we're all completely the same, and we're completely different. Isn't that a fun rule right off the bat? Please, secretary. Okay, let me just tell you this. Just so you guys know, I believe that spelling is an art, and so everyone should do it their own way. But sometimes that makes communication difficult. So Jess is going to write the stuff for us.
And when I spell it wrong, not a word. Just
Oh, there'll be many.
Do we need to move that, Katie, or are we okay?
No, I just don't want to trip her on the courts.
Okay, so I would like you to put spirit over here and human over here. And then I would like you to put, what's our first rule already, guys?
We're 100%.
Yeah, we're 100%, but what's the first rule?
Bliss is in the
All
middle.
the same.
that we're all the same. Where are we all the same?
We're all human?
In the middle?
No,
No,
where,
that's the bliss.
what side of us are we all the same?
We're human.
Our human is all the same?
Human and spirit.
I have huge titties and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I am pretty sure that we are not the same.
Spirit.
Spirit, we are 100% the same in spirit. Yes? And none of us are even remotely the same in our human. And here's another thing that I want to express to you guys. We all have different histories. We all have different vocabularies. Just like if somebody walked in the door and said, I need a glass of agua. I don't know how to say I need a glass in Spanish, but
Necesito.
say it. Say I need a glass of water.
Un vaso de agua.
Okay, that, right? And then I go, I don't understand what you're saying, right? I don't understand, right? So we all have our own verbiages. So I just want to preface that this thing that I perceive as this thing, this source of creation, I call God. Call it whatever you want to call it. And here's what I want to really encourage you with. If you can't even find something to call it, feel my heart. Feel my heart and what I'm communicating without the word. Yes? Because we can feel. When somebody loves us, we feel it. When somebody says I love you and they don't, even if it's in that moment, we feel it. Right? So if something that I say, if a word that I say isn't resonating, one, write it down and ask me, can you give me a different word for that? Because I'm not resonating with that. And if we can't find something, just feel what that word means. Yes? So I want you guys, though, to come up with as many of these as you can think of. And even if you can't think of like what's the opposite or what would it be, like throw things out there that you know are part of your spiritual understanding and things that are part of your human understanding. So throw something out.
Like everlasting and
Thank you.
temporary.
Okay. So eternal.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Eternal.
And so what's the opposite of eternal?
Mortal. Or temporary.
How about, I like temporary. It's, how about finite?
Yeah. Okay. Infinite and finite.
What's the definition of eternal?
Never ending.
Everlasting.
Sorry. Did you hear the difference in what we've been told eternal is and what it actually
I
is?
didn't hear what she said.
Never.
No beginning, no end.
Omega and Alpha.
Right? We've been told that it doesn't end. But guess what? It doesn't begin either. There is no beginning and there is no end. Finite, there's a beginning and there's an end. Yes?
Yes.
What else?
Tangible and
Oh.
intangible.
Hold on really quick. I wanted to come back to, we're going to skip that one, and the reason why is because the myriad of definitions of soul might get mixed up, because depending on who you're talking to, some would say that your soul is the human personality of you, and some would say, no, it's the eternal part of you. So just that word, so maybe think of something else that might represent what you are desiring to communicate with a different word. And there might not be for you, and that's okay.
Well, it's your spirit.
Essence?
Spirit and human?
Spirit and body, like.
Well,
That's what I was thinking.
okay.
what about essence? The essence of you.
Okay. Essence and body?
Or
I like that.
tangible, like, I mean, you can touch your body, but you can't touch your soul.
Okay.
Like they're
Like our spirit.
physical, like that
Yeah.
physical.
Tangible and intangible energy.
Power.
Hey, guess what practice number 1 is? FYI. Everything's energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is energy.
Is energy.
It's just in a different form.
So is there a way to extract the two different energies To
Good
fulfill
one.
where
Like, what's energy moving? What would we call that?
kinetic
Kinetic.
energy and
Static.
It's
You got
all
static
moving.
and dynamic. And you can go
It's
to
all
potential.
moving. It doesn't matter what
Potential
form it's in, it's
Smart
always
engineer.
moving.
Ooh, what about
And if
static
it's
and
not
dynamic?
moving, it's
Static.
static, which
Dynamic.
is the element of dis-ease. Which isn't a rule of being human or not, because you don't have to be in dis-ease. So conscious actually being our human part, and I'm gonna throw something else in there.
Did
and-
you want me to write that?
Yeah. So our subconscious and our superconscious, and this one I can already tell Joe's like, I don't quite really love that. And that's okay. When we get a little bit deeper into some of our principles, it will be a little bit clearer about why there is this distinction, because it is how they work. It's a rule. And so maybe the understanding of the rule is going to get shifted, and so then you'll get to shift the understanding of it.
So
Fair?
are we unconscious over here?
It's subconscious and superconscious. So let's
Conscious and
conscious is in your human,
Not a sub,
aware
it's a
and
super.
and then
unaware.
subconscious and superconscious is in your spirit.
Sub and super.
Sub and super, and here's what I'm going to, let's do a little, because how many of you have ever heard of the fact that you actually have 3 consciousnesses instead
Never.
of just 2? Okay,
Are
cool.
you talking about third eye or
So, well, okay, so
higher conscious?
there are lots of teachings out there about the superconscious, okay? I don't claim to understand any of them, only the one that makes sense to me, okay? So, my conscious is the part of me that is human, that is reasonable and rational and aware and choosing and, right?
So it's like ego and id. Because you have the rational mind, like the ego, or you have the id, which is basically the subconscious, and you have the ego, which is the conscious. And so it's just kind of on a. I'm gonna shut up. I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, no, that's okay,
I
because,
remember that.
and again, that's probably gonna shift over the weekend,
Okay.
that understanding of that distinction.
Okay.
So the subconscious is all of the programs that we're not aware of.
Yeah.
Okay? All of the programs that I got as a human. Now again, we'll come back, we'll talk a lot about all of this one in particular, because it seems like it doesn't quite fit in, but it's going to fit in. And then so that's a program that is in our human programming, okay? Our superconscious is our programming that came before we chose a body,
Okay.
okay? You have a guidance system, and that guidance system knows your destination. How do I know that you know your destination?
because we're here.
And
What's the question again?
what's the proof that you know your destination?
You're working towards it.
We all have a purpose.
How so? How so? How do you know? What's the proof?
You're 100% spirit.
How do you know? What's the
Because you
proof?
told me.
Lori said.
Because you're here.
Because, how so? Hey, this is a good one. How many of you know why you're here? Like specifically you said, this is exactly why I made the conscious choice to come to this retreat.
Because she asked me.
Okay? Nicole, why are you here?
Well, to get better at being a human being.
But why are you here?
Because I got in my car and drove here.
No, what made you decide to come here?
Because I think you're an awesome human.
How many of you were just like, I'm just supposed to be there? Like, right? That's your super conscious. When you get that thing in your gut that goes,
This
I just
feels
know I'm
right.
supposed to do that. Like there's no reason rationalize, like I didn't have to do my pros and my cons, I didn't, right? I know I'm supposed to be there. That is your super conscious directing you.
Is that muscle memory?
It's like
no,
beyond that.
because now, is there an element of when people do like muscle testing? Okay, and if somebody has said that that's muscle memory, I don't particularly think so because our muscles are human.
Right.
So my superconscious, which is spirit, can't be muscle memory. We're talking about my human experience is Lori, born on December 7th, 1971,
Of course
to
you're
Bob
Sag.
and Georgia Goling, and they conceived me, right? And I started growing. I have a vagina as opposed to a penis, right? This is my human experience. So this human experience started at conception. Now, my spiritual experience, all the things that come along with what I get to do, that's not necessarily part of the rules of navigating. Does it play a part? Yeah, but is it part of the rules? No. And again, we'll talk more about that, like as we go on through the weekend, okay? But when we talk about your physical human, it does have a start, conception, and it does have an end when you stop breathing.
I like the fathomable, unfathomable.
Yeah, I like that too.
And the problem with that is it's relative, not absolute. These are absolute. It's either the same or it's different. Because you could fathom something that I can't fathom. Yeah, so that's subjective. These are objective,
Okay.
right? That's a chair and that's a bigger chair. It's obvious that they're different. Yeah? Yeah.
What about on the human one, like appetites, desires, like the flesh, or the spirit doesn't necessarily have, maybe?
Those cravings. That, yeah.
Yeah, cravings, like that's a human thing, right?
So doesn't my gut desire to come to this retreat?
I think you're talking about more like the human experience of like I'm craving chocolate or like
Or the necessity to eat.
yeah.
But
But
what are
again,
you
you guys
saying?
think
But
about
that-
subjective and objective.
You're craving to enter a different soul, or you're craving to go into a different.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think my spirit desires pizza, but I do.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
that's
Sure, sure
again, we're talking about desire when you start saying, well, pizza or not pizza. Well, we're not talking about pizza or not pizza. We're talking about desire, right?
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah, your spirit desired to make you.
Okay.
I mean, there's human desire and there's spiritual desire. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, the body craves certain things that the spirit doesn't crave, but then the spirit does crave other things that the body
Okay.
doesn't crave.
It's about craving,
Yeah.
right?
So it is a mutual.
Not the what
That
of.
makes sense.
But I get what you're going.
Yeah, but a
Fair.
craving is the perception of a lack of something.
Right, and you can experience that physically, and you can experience that spiritually.
Exactly.
Can you?
A lack of I can
lack of
crave.
both.
We're gonna dig a little bit deeper into that as we go on through the weekend. So
So craving
push
was my
pause
questions
on
commercial.
that one. So, but we can talk a little bit about the craving from the perspective of the wanting and the having. Okay, so my spirit already has. My human wants.
Ooh, so is that like whole and broken?
How about
And
complete?
partial?
yeah.
And
Complete
incomplete.
and incomplete?
So complete and incomplete, and then having and wanting.
Is the spirit complete?
Is it?
I don't know. I feel like sometimes spiritually you can feel that something's missing and vacant. And so I would argue that. I mean,
Okay.
now maybe in your infinite, amazing, like before you come down, maybe infinitely you are complete, but I mean, you're right. I'm talking from the human experience.
Right,
'Cause
'cause
from a
you're-
human experience,
yeah,
spiritually, I
missing
can feel
that.
unfulfilled, but I'm sure that, okay, never mind. I take it back.
Right,
Sometimes you have to say it out loud.
because
Yeah.
if I'm infinite, then I have to be complete,
Right. Right.
right? And if there is a goal, doesn't my spirit need to know everything that has to happen to get to here? I mean, let's go back to the really like cliche example of a seed. Does the seed have everything it needs to actually produce fruit? Yeah, it does.
Does it?
No.
What if it's put in the shade that needs sunshine?
The seed itself has the capacity to produce fruit.
Got it.
The
Okay.
seed itself
That's the potential.
has the potential,
Of the potential.
right?
Here we go.
Which means the seed itself is complete to produce fruit, which is typically an end result of a fruit-bearing tree. Yeah? Yeah. And so, but then you put it in the ground, and then it has to germinate, and then it has to, break open through the outside of it, and then it has to, right? And so all along the way, it's incomplete. Right?
Potential and realized.
I like that, yeah.
And I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
And why is that? Because that's interpretive,
Okay.
right? Because I can realize something that you don't realize, right?
Fair.
What about limited and unlimited?
I like that one. Limited and unlimited.
Or limitless, I like limitless.
Limitless.
Limitless. Are you guys good with the have and the want? We didn't really talk about that one too much.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go back, like after we get the list, we're gonna go back and like hone in. But do we need to talk a little bit more about the have and the want for
yeah,
right now?
I do. I understand the human body. I understand the want from a human perspective. So when you say that the spirit so is it because the spirit? Okay, so since the spirit is complete and the spirit is whole and it has whatever it wants, where the body. Okay,
Needs.
It just has.
it just has.
Because need and want are both subjective.
Okay,
So it has.
so it just has. Okay.
Yes? Good?
So need is different.
Need is subjective. Want is subjective, but we all want whatever,
Right.
right? That's part of the human design is to want.
That's one of the first things your kid learns.
So maybe
I
it's
want.
maybe it's the human
And-
wants and the
but
spirit
need
doesn't
is
want,
subjective.
because technically, depending on how you look at it, the human can already have.
But it's not a rule.
Okay.
The
No, I mean,
rule
like-
is that spirit always has. And the rule is human always wants.
That's true.
But not in the way that the
doesn't
human
human
always
need-
has the spirit. That's
Oh,
Say
that's.
it
I
again.
get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Doesn't human need where spirit doesn't need?
Right.
So wait, hold on a second.
So could want
Melissa,
and need be the
hold-
same thing?
Hold on one second. Say what you were saying again.
Well, when I look at that, I'm thinking, so the spirit already has, and the human doesn't already have.
Right.
But the human also has a spirit connected to it.
And you're combining it instead of separating the rules.
Because that's where you find bliss, is in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll talk about how they come together, but we're just talking about the rules of humanness and the rules of spiritness. Did that clear up what you guys were talking about?
No.
Okay, so what are,
So I think what it was is that well, you speak for you.
So there's this
good
want
job, Kristen, that was
and
awesome.
need. And
A want
there's
and a need?
A want and a need. Wanting something is different than needing
Right,
something.
right.
But that's both human.
Want and need.
Yeah,
Both.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's the difference between a want and a need?
What is
It's
the difference
subjective.
between a want and a need?
But it's subjective.
Just objective?
God, is it
Do you
necessity?
want a Mercedes or do you need a Mercedes?
Well, I mean, I need a Mercedes.
What about water?
Yeah, it's a need.
I
You can be thirsty after a
Yeah.
pizza, but do you really need it?
See how
You ought
subjective
to.
it is?
Need it for
So need is
But we
life.
typically,
Need is-
we
Without it,
typically
people drive
are
fast
more
and they
ruled
don't
by
drive.
our wants than our needs. Right?
but doesn't need precede what?
You're taking this where you don't need to go.
You're splitting it.
From
Am I
the perspective-
overthinking?
What?
Human.
No! Weird!
her superpower is simplicity.
Would you say?
Do you
But-
want me to tell you how to get to Sesame Street?
Where did that come
Let's
from?
kindergarten this up a little bit,
Renovated
okay,
books on
Lori?
Etsy.
I'm like, all of a sudden, there's just. Okay, so question: would it be need and need less? I mean, in the sense that no.
Because there's not actually very much our human needs, we just think so.
Okay,
But our human always wants.
that's true.
Is that fair?
Ooh, that's why
Does
your
that kindergarten it?
question. It was, are you okay with being poor? Because you don't need money.
What?
Are you? Oh, good one.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Are you gonna bring that up already?
Financial planner. What? Drop it.
I like you too.
All right, what else?
This is hard. This is harder than
So
I thought
so
it would
let
be.
me so let me
I'm still
direct you a little bit.
swirling.
Please.
Do I have a destination?
The human does.
As
Does
a
the
human?
spirit?
Well, I think the spirit does. I don't know if
The spirit does, because right, my how does my guidance system take me where I'm going if it doesn't know the destination? It's super conscious.
Okay, so you're saying that basically the spirit has a predetermined destination where the human isn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay, I get
So
that. I get
with
that.
let's go with that whole like my spirit knows
Okay,
and my human doesn't know.
I get that.
So knowing and
Not
not
knowing.
My
and not-
spirit knows and my human doesn't know what it doesn't know. Okay? So have you ever had a gut feeling?
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. So regardless of how I just worded it, go with the gut feeling.
I'll give you.
There's something inside me that says do this. So whether it's in the moment, whether it's long-term destination, whatever, okay?
I can do that.
Perfect. Perfect. Right? I can adjust.
I'll throw you some more
You
curveballs.
neat girl. I like you. Okay. What else?
But I can't, like, that was a great explanation because
Yeah.
it's like your spirit is not all knowing of the future, it's knowing in the moment, right?
I like that.
Ooh.
Like that,
The gut feeling makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
to me, but I don't believe that we're on a path. I have
Yes.
my own
I get what-
religion in my
yeah.
brain, so it's not.
okay, sorry.
Is it like
That's okay. And some of this will begin to evolve as we chat.
is
And
it,
however it shifts or doesn't shift or whatever, because here's the thing.
Ooh.
This isn't about being right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about this or that. It's not what makes you feel alive. And if what you're believing right now makes you feel alive, then keep believing it. But if it doesn't, question it.
so then would that be moment because you love being
No.
human in the moment and momentless?
No.
Okay.
Okay, like, I've had this question before.
Okay, quick question. So what you're talking about is basically you believe that while you have gut feelings, so while there may be like an inner knowing, you still feel like it's not divined for you. Like you still have free will. Is that what you're getting at?
So I'm atheist. I'll throw it out there. I'm atheist. I don't believe in God.
Oh.
I don't believe that there's a path. I don't think anybody put me here. I don't think there's a puppet in the sky. I think that my spirit, my soul, and my human are all on the same path together, and at the very end is where we split up. But we're all on this unknown path together. I don't think that there's a divine path.
Okay, but you believe there's a soul. So you
Yes.
believe that there is some higher presence to yourself.
No, I don't think it's higher than my human. I think we're all on the same plane,
So you believe that your soul is equal to your physical body.
and my spirit. I believe we're three parts.
The trilogy.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can explain my religion later, but.
I think it's fascinating.
And you know what?
Myself.
You guys know where I came from. I absolutely 100% agree with everything she just said.
minor in college.
Yeah.
It's how we interpret it that is the problem. Which is why I freaking love, and regardless of what you believe, because you get to have your experience and I get to have mine, she has been divinely placed here for all of us that come from a place where we're told that God's here and we're here and He's good and we're sinners and He's perfect and we're shit and He's better than us and we're not. And whether you believe that or not, that's what the typical religion will teach us, which is why she has, and again, I get to live my own reality, she's been divinely placed here for our benefit.
You're welcome.
Right? Own that, girl! Own that!
No, I honestly think that's fascinating.
I love you. Yeah, and
I think it's completely fascinating. But when you say divinely so quick question. So
Oh,
I'm good.
We know the problem child in the
screw
room.
the whole like teaching.
I was a theology
Off and forget all.
No, I was a theology minor, and so I think it's really fascinating to study religion. So my only thing is, so when you say that we're divinely placed, if she, like,
She thinks that.
okay, so
I
that
don't
is your
think that.
interpretation.
That's my interpretation.
It depends on what you think
Her
divinely
reality.
means.
But I would agree with that in this moment I can hear her say that and say, oh, right, so I believe in source as a higher power, but that doesn't mean that
Source,
my
yeah.
source isn't the same equal as what my human body experiences. It doesn't mean that it's got like some attachment up here that's like, no. It's like, oh, no, you're living in the same shit that I am right now. And we'll just continue on the conversation after we're done with this guy.
Kind of like a marriage where it's two people on the same plane.
Yeah,
right?
for
Like
you.
your spirit and your body is a marriage, learning to unite and work as a team. And it can't be a spirit that overpowers and controls the body. It must be a team effort so that they both trust.
To meet the
Right?
goal.
Because there's part of my spirit that's like, damn it, just do the thing that I want you to do. And my spirit's like, but this addiction, I'm having it, right? Like
Your
it's not
body.
obedient because my spirit sometimes wants to be controlling and it doesn't know how to guide. It doesn't know how to, like, unify.
It doesn't know how to be a team player.
And yeah.
Team player.
And we'll, this whole weekend, that's why we're starting with this, because this whole weekend, we're gonna look at how this thing relates to this, and how this thing relates to this, because this is the rules of being 100% human and 100% spirit. But we have to know what is spirit and what is human before we know what the rules are and how they play together. Yeah?
I have a question about unlimited and limited, because in my experience, I feel what holds me back is my spirit's fear of being limitless.
And that's not your spirit.
Is it my subconscious or my conscious?
It's your human. It's your human programming. And again, we'll get into a lot of the how to apply these things, but we have to establish what we're applying before we can apply it. Right? So some of this, if at the end of the weekend you go, God, Lori was so full of shit, and you want to leave it in this cabin, do that.
Then I'm leaving Saturday night.
But let's entertain, when you leave here Saturday night, but let's entertain this for the sake of the conversation. Fair?
Fair.
Cool.
Keep going.
Okay. What else?
I don't know, just tell us.
Okay.
That's not being a
So let's look at our human.
Awesome.
If there's a start and a finish, then what does our human look like?
Linear and.
Yeah.
And it is
Non-linear.
so not.
Linear and non-linear. What?
Yeah, it is not linear.
We're
What's not linear?
The human.
Okay, and again,
Am I wrong again?
Always.
what if you guys, here's the thing,
Your
what if
reality.
you're not wrong? What if nobody's told you how to play the game and have it be fun?
I want that to be a
We
soccer
need to
ball.
learn
This
the
is your
rules.
own game.
Right? Here's the thing, you guys. Again, this isn't
It
about
doesn't
right
feel
or
like
wrong.
humans are linear. I don't feel
It-
linear.
I
But
feel
that's my spirit then.
Oh. Up top. Because guess what?
Why
We're
does it feel human?
100%. We are 100% human and we're 100% spirit. And guess what? Even though we don't know it, they're intertwined, right? But because we haven't known the rules and how they're laid out and that they are opposing, we say things like, my human doesn't feel linear.
Because
Or
my human is
doesn't
supposed
feel-
to be flawed.
Oh, yeah.
My human is supposed to be so
Your human
non-linear.
is supposed to be flawed? Who told you that?
For religion.
My religion.
What?
Are you
Sorry, that's
Catholic?
why I have my own shit.
Right? What if,
Not fair.
again,
You don't deserve
guys,
to believe that.
I know.
guys, what if this weekend is about transforming the way that you see yourself?
I'd be down with that.
Woo! Want to be down with that?
I'm so down.
Because here's the thing, it's
I
not
want that in
about
me.
right and it's not about wrong. It's about, do you live fulfilled and fully alive or not? Period.
Amen.
That's all it's about, you guys. And here's the thing. If truth were what took us to fulfillment, there's a lot of people who think they're telling the truth, and I'm pretty sure they're not living fulfilled. So let's throw all of the dogma out, right? And look at the fact that we're, because we can all agree that we're 100% human and 100% spirit, right? We can agree with that. Well, if something is 100% of something, it has rules and characteristics and faculties. Yes? That's what we're doing, is we're separating the faculties. So that then we can go back and say, how do they play together? How do I actually look at this so that I can do life in a way that is fun for me? Yes?
Yes.
My human, birth and death. Fair? Okay? And then spirit, eternal.
Okay.
Okay? A little bit different than infinite because now we're talking time. Birth, death, eternal.